stitching friends, welcome to the Starlight Stitching Co. Flosstube video number 22. It is Friday, September 15th, and I'm back to share with you what I've been working on and what I've gotten in. I don't have any finishes, I don't have any full finishes. I do have whips, cross-stitch whips, and a knitting whip, and a lot of haul. And a little bit of life updates. So that's what you can look forward to here in this video. I hope you have some stitching and a favorite beverage of your choice and you enjoy. For a life update, we recently just got back from vacation on August 31st. We left home and took our camper down to a KOA in Springfield, Missouri. And we spent the weekend in Springfield. We went down to Dogwood Canyon, which is a gorgeous nature park. If you're ever in the Branson, Missouri area, you should definitely take the time to go down to visit Dogwood Canyon and see what they have to offer. I'll pop in a few pictures here and there as I describe everything. We also went to check out the Bass Pro Shop in Springfield, which is ginormous. I think we spent a couple of hours just walking around, and my daughter was thrilled looking at all the different animals that they have out for you to be able to see. My husband wanted to go to the Grizzly Tools store, so he got to browse there and see what they had to offer. And I also made a pit stop at Cecilia's Samplers in Branson, Missouri, which was a lot of fun. My first visit to an actual needlework store. They had so many beautiful samples hung on the wall and so many patterns, and just seeing all the floss colors. It was great to be able to pick some things out in person. Most of the stuff I get, I have to order online. And it's just nice getting to dig through the things and find exactly what you want right there. So on Monday, Labor Day, we drove up to Mark Twain Lake. It's a Corps of Engineers campground called Indian Creek. I always say it wrong. Is it Indian Springs or Indian Creek? I think it's Indian Creek Campground on Mark Twain Lake. The two closest cities are Monroe City and Hannibal, Missouri. And we camped at this beautiful campground. It's one of our favorite places to go. This is our third trip back there. And the campground is just tucked into the woods, into the Mark Twain National Forest. And it's a beautiful place to visit. It was just so relaxing. Just taking walks down to the lake, walking a little bit up to the park so she could play. She learned how to ride her bike without training wheels for the first time, which was really exciting for her. And just lots of time spent hanging out at the campground and having fun. One of her favorite parts about camping at this location is that the deer are very curious, and they come up very close to the campsite, just browsing for their dinner each night. So it's entertaining to watch the deer make their way through the woods and just seeing them throughout the day, each day. It was a lot of fun. So I guess since you're here to see some stitching, I should show you some stitching, right? If you see me looking off to the side, I'm trying to be better about looking directly at the camera, which is, you know, a tiny little black dot on my phone, which seems kind of weird to me. So if I'm looking to the side like that, I'm just checking the video image on my phone to make sure so I can see what you're seeing. I'm trying to get a little bit better at this. We'll see how it goes. So my first whip, I shared several pictures of this on our trip. I was mainly focusing on Autumn Love by Lori Holt. And I am stitching this on a 28 count Charles Craft linen in the color Tea Dyed. And hold on, I actually have a board to put it on this time. so it doesn't have to flop around. And here is my progress. Whoop! Stay up there. So when I left, it just does not want to cooperate. I did not iron this. When I left, I had this big center block done and a couple of the white, I'm just going to keep fighting that, aren't I? A couple of the white borders. I think I had this one done, a little bit of this one. This block was totally done, and a little bit of this border here. So that's where I left off when I left. And of course, this was the project I worked on the entire trip. And when you can stitch like it's your job because you don't have to work because you're on vacation, you can get a lot done. You really can. So let's see if I can get a close-up without knocking too much stuff off. For the most part, I stuck to the called for colors. The center of these corner quilt block stars, the pattern had charted for the same pale gray that's in the windows here. And I stitched that on this block and I didn't like how it looked. So I switched it to the pale yellow in the pattern. So I'll use that pale yellow on all of the corner blocks. The only one I have a problem with is this one down here, because it's charted to have this dark yellow on the outside next to that pale gray, and I don't know, I mean, you can see the difference between the two yellows here, so it should be fine once I get it all stitched up. We'll see. And I'm still undecided on the door. There we go. We're losing it. So much for being professional, right? It's gonna be a great day. It really is. Did I lose my needle too? Oh, no, my needle's right here. Okay. Let's put that back in there. It's gonna be a great day. It really is. Okay, where was I at? I don't remember what I was talking about before that kerfuffle. Oh, the door color. I'm still undecided. I definitely don't like the dark gray. I'm considering changing it to the same pale yellow. We'll see. I don't know. I'll probably wait until the end to deal with that issue. But I definitely want to do something with the door. My favorite block is probably this one with the corn. I don't know why. There's just so many fun details. And look at all the... I'm trying to see what you can see. Look at all the details on just this scarecrow. Like the different colors in the pockets, and the gingham on the scarf, and the band on the hat, and the basket, and the different colored apples. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to stitch. So now I just have these bottom 3 blocks left to finish up. So maybe before the end of this month, fingers crossed, this could be a finish. I've already ordered a frame to fit from the Rusty Roof. It is on its way already, so I'll have no excuses to get it done. I'm sure I'll come up with some, but anyway. Let me get this put back in its bag before I lose a needle. Oh, please. Okay, so we went to Cecilia's samplers. I had so much fun. My husband and my daughter got a little bored waiting for me, so they ended up waiting outside and then walking over to the gas station and getting a snack and a drink, and then, but that gave me time to browse, which that was okay. So I picked up, I mean, you can't go to Cecilia's samplers and not kit up something, right? So I had to kit up a new start. I picked up Little House Needleworks Home of a Needleworker. There's 2 similar versions, but This one actually has the alphabet on it. I mean, I was at Cecilia's samplers, so I had to get a sampler. And it's sampler September, so it kind of fits. I am completely changing the colors on these. So this was where the fun came in of being at the color wall in Cecilia's samplers. So you can see in the chart, it's filled with lots of different browns and tans. These are the colors I intend to use. More blues and greens and a brighter gold and a vibrant red. And I mean, I had to start it just to say I did. I picked up some 32 count Atomic Ranch linen in the color Freeze. I don't know if you can see the modeling very good here. And that's my tiny little start. Needle mid stitch. So I started in the upper right hand corner of this border here. And I didn't even cut down my fabric. I mean, I literally just opened the bag and started stitching. But don't those colors just look great on this fabric? Love it. So because I only brought one project with me, I also only brought one project bag. So that is currently sharing a project bag with Autumn Love in my Starry Owl Stitchery bag. I love her bags. I know I've shared that bag every single time that I've shown the project. Next up is a new start. I barely showed this on my Instagram. Excuse me, and a little peek. Yeah, okay. I was trying to remember the fabric. The pattern is Autumn Alphabet by Primrose Cottage Stitches. It is so beautiful. I mean, this just fits what I want for my fall decor. It's gorgeous. I am stitching this on a remaining scrap of the LFA Linens Millstone fabric. I believe this is a 32 count linen. You can't really tell the colors though. Let's find something white to put it on. There we go. Now you can see that gorgeous modeling. It has some definite tans and like sagey green modeling in the background. And my pile of haul is in my way for showing this stuff on a board. And that's what I have done. I got the alphabet done and added the birds. Somewhere, and I do not know where, I goofed, and the top row of words is one stitch too far down. So that's why, like, it's gonna be a good day. That's why this birdie is touching the letters, and the beak of this bird, once I get it stitched, will touch the letters, but I think it'll still be okay. I'm not unpicking it. I did switch up the colors, not because I don't love their colors, just because I wanted to use what I have in my stash, and I didn't have all of the called for colors in my stash. So let's see, I have black coffee, that's called for. Instead of hickory sticks, I'm going to use cocoa bean. So these are all classic colorworks. Instead of bright leaf, I'm going to use colonial copper. Instead of pine needles, I'm going to use desert mesquite. Instead of chocolate mousse, I plan to use perfect pie crust, unless it doesn't show up very well. We'll see. Instead of toasted marshmallow, I plan to use 12 grain. Instead of Dublin Bay, I'm going to use Shamrock. And then instead of Fallen Leaves, I'm going to use a color and cotton called Fortissimo. So very pretty autumny colors. There we go. Now you can kind of see them all together. Don't they just look so pretty twisted up like that? So that was my new start. I really only worked on it a little bit for 2 days, and I got the whole alphabet done. It stitches up so fast. Then also I have kitted up but not started Autumn Quaker. Just love those patterns there. And for that I am using the Fox and Rabbit, I believe it's a 32 count linen in the color Mayflower. So I had a scrap of this left, and I'm going to use that with Southern Fried Floss Spiced Cider. Can you see the variegation in that? Oh, it's going to be so good on this linen. The lighting is kind of blowing it out a bit, but it's going to look so good. So as soon as I get done with Autumn Alphabet, I plan to start Autumn Quaker, although one of my pieces of haul might mess with that plan. Then I have one more project that I worked on. While I was on vacation, I kept seeing a couple of people, Handmade by Sarah W. and someone else. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I will look it up and add it on the bottom of the video. But they have been posting their progress on Rejoice Evermore. I had decided on the trip to only take 2 cross-stitch patterns. Autumn Love, and if I finished Autumn Love, I would work on finishing Christmas Rules. I did not finish Autumn Love, so I didn't even touch Christmas Rules. And that's a good thing, because if I had taken this project bag, I would have worked on this. It is such a gorgeous pattern by Brenda Gervais. And I'm stitching this on the same 32 count Fox and Rabbit in the color Mayflower. I previously had the line of the border done and the word Rejoice done. So what I managed to get done this week is the words Evermore and that 1 Thessalonians 5:16. That's over 1. That took a while. Can you see how tiny that is? Oh my goodness, I almost needed magnification to stitch that. I did end up going to bed with a headache. Maybe that's why. And I got started on that bird. I think I need to go get my glasses prescription updated. So I need to get that scheduled. But isn't that bird gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. So many beautiful details in this pattern. I'm excited to keep going on it. And then, I know I've talked about it a million times, but I am so excited. I have been saving Let Love Rain. It's been kitted up with my own color conversion, just to brighten up the colors a little bit, for a month and a half probably. I wanted to save this as a special, you know, birthday start / anniversary start, because my wedding anniversary is only a week away from my birthday. But I have been wanting to start Let Love Rain, the big sampler here, by Teresa Kogut. It is beautiful. So my color conversion was just to bring the colors closer to what the picture shows. But this is patiently waiting in this bag until my birthday to start it. Why do I want to wait and have it be a special start instead of just a start because I feel like it? I don't know. I don't know. I just want to be like everybody else and have a birthday start. But my birthday's on Sunday, so that's the only thing I'm going to stitch on Sunday. And I usually get a decent amount of stitching time on Sundays. So that's in my plans. And I'm super excited to actually see those colors on the cloth and see what it looks like together. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, the only other whip I have is a knitting whip. And I have this in my twice sheared sheep bag. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And I know I've shared it before, but I am using some Malibrigo Arroyo yarn in the color Cirrus Gray. And I am working on a Mussleburgh hat as a Christmas gift. So this is going to look kind of funny. But here's my progress. Whoa, right? It's so big. So the way this pattern is designed is that you stitch the crown part of the hat, then you stitch a long tube, then you stitch the other crown part of the hat, and one side gets turned inside the other one, so it's like double thickness. And it's also long enough that you can cuff it up if you want to. And look at how pretty this yarn is. Oh my goodness. I love it. So I shared this right before we left on vacation. And I think I knitted maybe 1 or 2 more rows. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2. Not many. And I put this stitch marker in to mark my progress. So I managed to get from here to where I'm at now knit in 2 weeks. And I basically only worked on it riding in the truck or riding in the car. And look at the variegation. I love a variegated thread or a variegated yarn, but I mean, look at the movement in those blues and grays. It's going to be so good. I'm excited to see this done and ready for Christmas giving. Now there's one part I want to talk a little bit more about. I think I'll film a separate clip to show you what I mean. I'm new at knitting, so I'm probably doing something wrong. I don't know. Or I was. Maybe. I don't know. I'll add in a clip here to better explain that. Okay, so here is my Mussleburgh hat progress. And I wanted to show this a little bit differently. Like I said, I'm new to knitting, and I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but I can tell the difference between one way of knitting and another. Yeah, you can see it. So you can see that these stitches, like right about here is the line, right about where that blue stitch marker is the line, where I was knitting this part one way and then switched to a way that I found to be more comfortable. Again, I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably doing something wrong, or was anyway. So I'll just show, hopefully, a good description of what I was doing before. So before, I was knitting how the video I showed, or what, the video I showed, the video I watched showed me how to do it. So stick the needle in the stitch to the back, take the yarn, wrap it from front to back, and then make the stitch. So that's how, I don't want to actually make the stitch here. That's how I was knitting on this bottom section here. And you can see that's the part I don't know if I was doing wrong or not. And maybe it's just different, but you can see it almost created like ridges, like one side is higher up than the other. And then I switched to what I found to be much more comfortable for me. I learned to crochet many years ago, and I found this way of knitting to be much more comfortable. So I wrap the yarn around my pinky finger and then over my index finger, and that's how I hold the tension. That's very similar to how I hold my tension when I'm crocheting too. So then I stick the needle in, scoop up the yarn, which is effectively going from back to front instead of front to back when you yarn over. And this I found to be significantly more comfortable. The other way, it just seemed like it was taking forever to make progress with the movements that were required. And this way I feel like I can just go and go and go. I know I'm getting a little close to the tapered part of my needles here. That's something I'm still working on. Again, new knitter. This is my first real project. Before I practice on just making I call them doll blankets. It's like a big dishcloth that my daughter uses as doll blankets. I did that to practice for a while. So this is my first actual item that someone can wear. And I'm probably still too tight on my tension. It's something I'm working on. But yeah, I just thought I would share, because that way of yarning over seems to give me this much smoother, even fabric, whereas down here you can feel the little ridges. So I can see where I started and switched that. I think it's a pretty clear difference. This just seems to lay flatter. Like I said, maybe I was yarning over the wrong way. I was pretty sure I followed the tutorial that I did. I'm glad I switched, because this has made it so much easier and faster to make that much progress. And we'll see how the decreasing goes. Put my little stitch stoppers on. And I've been using these, they're just large jump rings that I had in my stash as stitch markers for the 4 quadrants of the hat. That way when I get to the other end, stray thread, I can do the decreasing in the same orientation as before. And this stitch marker is just marking which one is my front. So I know that I've actually completed a round on all 4 sides. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Something funky happened there. And there. Oh well, it's not going to be perfect. I just hopefully it's not too big. We'll see. It's kind of hard when I can't try it on the person, because it's supposed to be a Christmas gift and a surprise. But even if it is too big, I've had fun knitting it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share, is just how I've been doing my stitches and how it changed and how I can see the difference. Okay, that's all I have for whips. Now I have a whole bunch of haul. A lot of haul. Before I left, I had ordered the Forbidden Fiber Co. Tiger Lily Designs conversion, thread conversion for the pumpkin house pattern. And I also ordered some Zweigart Ada 18 count in the color Silent Night. Sorry, lost some floss. So here is the Silent Night fabric. I plan to use this for the top portion. I don't know if I'm actually going to stitch the two together to frame it like the pattern shows or not. So she actually stitched the bottom on white, the top on the blue, and sewed them together to put in a single frame. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. We shall see. I don't even really have plans on when I'm going to start it. But that fabric with these beautiful yarns. Oh, I was just talking about yarn. Flosses, these beautiful flosses from Tiger Lily. And when I ordered the patterns, I didn't get those from Forbidden Fiber Co. I got the patterns from another shop on Etsy. And I ordered some Atomic Ranch Mellow Stone. That's a 36 linen. I don't know, do I want to mix a 36 linen with a 18 count Ada? Or do I want to do both on Ada? I don't even know if I'm going to put them together. So I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I ordered a piece of Atomic Ranch Mellow Stone. And I also picked up some Atomic Ranch Weathered Stone. I'm really loving the hand-dyed fabrics. You know, hand-dyed fabric, hand-dyed yarns, hand-dyed floss. It's all great. It's all great. I'm trying to have some sort of organization here because otherwise it's going to be a giant mess, which it probably will be anyway. So I already shared the pumpkin house. I also picked up the 9th Day of Christmas because I have the other patterns in this series. I haven't stitched any of them yet, or at least haven't finished them. My daughter wanted me to make her a hat, so she picked out this lovely ball of yarn. It is a Mandala Ombre from Lion Brand, and the color is Balance. So that should make a cute little Mussleburgh hat for my daughter. My friend gave me this sweet little cross-stitch kit as an early birthday present. When I went to Cecilia's Samplers, they also included a thread card and a bag. I didn't even realize that was included in the shopping bag until I got back. Before we left, actually quite a while ago, I had ordered some floss from Southern Fried Floss in some various colors. They had shared, I think this one, Blue Ridge Mountains, on their Instagram. And I decided, ooh, I need some of that. And it can't ship alone, so I picked out some other colors. The one downside to their website is they don't have all of their colors in a photo. So some of them I was selecting the colors quite literally just based off of the name. Like, I remember Victorian Mauve didn't have a picture. I don't know if Strawberry had a picture or not. It was quite a while ago. So I can add those to my hand-dyed floss collection. Let's see, what next? I had previously ordered some I don't know how you say that. Hobby? I think it's Hobby yarn. And this color is called Universe. I didn't realize when I was ordering it that it was a super fine weight. So for the pattern I want to use it for, I needed something that's a worsted weight. So I'm going to combine it with this Caron Simply Soft in the color Victorian Rose. So I'm going to combine these two together and crochet a pocket shawl as a Christmas gift, which I need to get started on if it's going to be done in time. We shall see. I also have a bunch of random DMC flosses. Every time we go to a craft store, my daughter loves to pick out. She says, "Can I pick you out some colors?" And I mean, I can't say no to that. So I usually give her a number. Like, yes, you can pick out 10, or you can pick out 5, or whatever. So she picked out some colors for me. I usually end up with some pretty funky colors. I don't remember if it was in one of her Flosstube videos or on YouTube, but Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch shared some beautiful yarns from Bumblebee Acres. So then, of course, I had to browse through their website because, I mean, they have hand-dyed yarn, and that's beautiful. And I picked up these two skeins, and mostly because of the name, besides the fact that it's beautiful, but it's called Dragonfly and Amber. If you're an Outlander fan, you'll know what I mean. And it's a sparkly yarn. Can you see that sparkle in there with these colors? Oh, so good. So I think I want to try to knit this into this Laurel shawl. I just loved all of these details here, which the pattern says it's for a confident beginner, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm only one knitting project in, and yet I already have 2 knitting whips planned. The Instagram ads got me. They got me. I kept getting Instagram ads for a website called Arcane Fiberworks. They also do hand-dyed yarn. And I fell in love with this Starlight Starbright yarn. And I have here, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 skeins. So 8 skeins total. Sweater quantity. It's such a beautiful, like, aqua, gray, blue. So nice. In case you haven't noticed, I love blue. And I want to knit this into the Comfort Fade Cardi by Dree Renee Knits, except I'm not going to do a fade. I'm just going to do it all in this lovely yarn here. But it just looks so comfy, cozy. So we'll see. I'm going to try not to crinkle a whole bunch. Ugh, I just love that. And if I'm knitting my own sweater, I can actually make the sleeves long enough. Most of the time sweaters, half the time at least, sweaters don't fit me right. The sleeves end up really short on me. I don't know. In Monroe City, there is a cute little craft store called Ben Franklin. It is like a mini Hobby Lobby, and they have a pretty large section of quilting fabric. And I knew I wanted to get supplies to make a quilt as like a memory quilt of our trip there. And they had a sample on the wall for this and a pattern that they provided. So it's a pretty simple quilt with pretty white snowy trees. My husband picked it out, and I just asked them to cut up all of the fabric required with enough of this pretty blue for the binding, and enough of this pretty tree print for the backing. Isn't that gorgeous? Sparkly. Very wintry, very blue. Are you seeing a theme? I love blue. So that will be in the near future. Don't know when. I have to find the time to quilt first. I also got in my, what is this? Just Cross Stitch 2023 Christmas ornament issue. And there are some really, really cute ornaments in here. Love them. I don't know if I'll have time to stitch any of them out of it this year. We'll see. And I had seen, Sarah made me do it. I'm just going to say it right now. Handmade by Sarah W. She made me do it. She has stitched so many beautiful things from this book that I could not resist any longer. It is called Winds of Autumn by Blackbird Designs. And there are several different beautiful designs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 different patterns in here. And they're all lovely patterns. Let me flip to a couple of my favorites. So this one, she just recently finished. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That's the main one I want to do. But if I keep flipping through this enough times, I'll end up wanting to do all of them. There's this cute one. I don't know if I would do it in that color. I might pick something else. Look at all the detail around that beautiful house. And the pumpkin with the quilt blocks. Oh, so good. So, so good. When I first looked it up, I kind of balked at the price a little bit. It's like, oof, $30 for one book. But there's a lot of really good patterns in here. Really good patterns. This pretty bird. I mean, I could be kept busy for quite a while just stitching from this book. And hopefully, I'm trying not to show any of the patterns sheets. Lovely sampler. I'll try to watch it through, and if I do show something on accident, I'll try to hide it. Pretty October 31. So like a Halloween without being overtly Halloween. Owl. The little house. So good. So, like I said, Sarah made me do it. I'm not stitching anything from this year. I have so many whips already. I'm not stitching anything from this year. But I can add it to my collection. And again, because nothing can ship alone, I also picked up the Violet's Blue pattern. So let's see if I can get a close up. That's what the pattern looks like. I just thought the pastel-y house and the purple violets were just so pretty. So pretty. I picked up a new frame from the Rusty Roof. Somehow, when I ordered the frame that I intended on using for Christmas in Pink, I ordered the wrong size. It was too long. So I got this one, which is a little bit shorter. I don't know. I haven't done the math to look and see if the other frame I have would work for the pumpkin house if I do put the pieces together. We'll see. And then I have one more set of haul. So at the end of last year, I had signed up for the twice sheared sheep, they have, what do they call it? A 2023 surprise box. It's all knitting supplies. And I mean, I had no business signing up for the box. I had just started knitting. This bag here that I have been using as my knitting bag for my hats came in the first box. So I had signed up for that last year, and this is what came in the latest shipment. So this sweet little pouch, my little bag of secrets, a sweet little tin. The top slides open. It's a perfect place to store stitch markers or row counters. And then we have some really pretty stitch markers. Row counters with a sweet little hedgehog and a toadstool. I haven't quite figured out how to use these yet, but I'm going to try. Then these are tip tie point protectors. Some of these things, I don't know what they are. I'm new to knitting. Bamboo cable needles for doing cabling. Another stitch marker. This beautiful ball of everyday merino in the color pine. So it's a superwash merino wool. It's a beautiful green. This large and in charge pom-pom that has ribbon ties so you can change what hat you have it on. So I'm thinking that this pine green and the pom-pom would make a lovely winter hat. Maybe for me? I don't know. I don't normally wear hats. I need to because my ears get cold. And then my favorite piece of all from this box. It is so good. I don't know who makes it because there's no label on it, but this is a very pretty wooden yarn bowl. So you can put your ball of yarn in it. Not exactly a good example, but put your ball of yarn in it and your yarn goes through this little swirl. And if you have your yarn like spun into a ball, it'll want to spin around in the bowl, but the bowl will keep it contained and your yarn will pull free. Actually, I have a better example. Here. So this is, somewhere is the end. I just hand wound this ball of yarn. I don't have a yarn ball winder or a Swift, so I just wound this by hand. So you'd pop it into the bowl here, put your yarn through there, and then as you pull the yarn, your yarn ball will just move around in this bowl, and the bowl will keep it contained. Wind that back up. But it's so pretty. Look at that. I mean, this is a piece of artwork here. I had a little card that had more information on it. If I can find out who makes this or where this came from, I will let you know, because this is just too good not to share. Absolutely beautiful. And I think you can also run the yarn through these one of these holes as well. Like if you're using 2 yarns at once or something. I'm not sure. So that is almost all of my haul. I do want to share one more piece of haul. I got in the Primrose Cottage Stitches Sip and Stitch. And if you haven't seen it yet, then, you know, it's time to say goodbye. If you want to have the surprise spoiled, then stick around just for a little bit longer. We're almost done. Seriously, I've got to stop spending money. I have way too much stuff. Are you ready? so good. So good. Here's the mug. So the Stip and Stitch always comes with a mug. It says autumn leaves and stitching please. And it's a stainless steel lined mug with one of these tops on it. The only downside that I don't like is that it says it's not dishwasher safe. Phooey. But it's still super cute. So I'll probably take this out into the camper where we don't have a dishwasher anyway, and it won't be a problem. Some lovely, try to get them out so I can show you, autumn stickers. They've started to include some stickers in their Sip and Stitch sets. That one says happy fall y'all. And Sip Stitch Repeat. Isn't that just adorable? Try and get the stickers back in the plastic bag. I don't know whose job this was at Primrose Cottage, but I feel sorry for them. Then there is a bunch of floss. So we have Classic Colorworks Black Coffee. Hickory sticks. Hey, now I have hickory sticks. And Fallen Leaves. And Dublin Bay. And Chocolate Mousse. And Weeks Dye Works Bright Leaf. So now I actually have all the colors I need for the autumn alphabet. These are the same colors. Isn't that funny? So I might compare the ones I haven't stitched yet with what I had selected for my pattern. Maybe I'll switch it up. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of sticking with my plan. So then we have the finishing kit to actually finish the pillow like they did in, I guess I gave it away, didn't I? There's a finishing kit with everything you need to finish. I love fall most of all. Isn't that adorable? Beautiful. Oh my goodness. And then there's another pattern in here called Autumn Quilt. And that's in that same Dublin Bay and Bright Leaf. I have a feeling when I actually stitch it, it'll be a bit brighter than that. Let's see. Sometimes floss colors just do not correspond to the images. Okay, so I guess that is pretty close. I might switch that up. We'll see. So cute. I almost grabbed some fabric and started these right away because they are just so pretty. So, so pretty. All right. That is all I have for you today. Half the video was just going through this giant mountain of haul that I can now put away. I think I really need to go with like a no buy October or something. Or the rest of the year. I've certainly spent enough for an entire year already. Oh my goodness. It's all fun though, right? To add to the collection. We'll see. Oh, I guess I should do a... Is there a point in doing a shop update? It releases today. Probably before the video goes live. I'll do it anyway. Okay, so here's what will be in the shop later today. There's some totes. So these are my bigger ones that will fit your larger 8.5 by 11 patterns. It does fit, I promise. And this one has some sweet birds and birdhouses and fall leaves and like a tealy green Yeah, tealy green, weathered background. I so want to keep one of these for myself, but I cannot keep everything I make. And so these are the totes. They have the large pocket in the front, the large vinyl zipper pocket inside, thread bed. This pocket has the vinyl pocket and then the hidden pocket, just like the clutches do. And then you can also stick supplies back behind both sides. There's a felt for keeping some needles and a twill ribbon for clipping your scissor fob or a floss ring to. And then a sweet little leaf charm. Next one, gingerbread cookies for Christmas. And there's a little gingerbread man on the charm. Inside it has stockings and stripes. Very cute. Then I have some clutches. So I'm calling this one October 31st. It has a very vintagey print. And then kind of like a retro binding, I think. That charm is a jack-o'-lantern. This, I think I called this one fall foliage. I don't remember. Tealy green background, very pretty leaves, and then like a caramelly colored orange batik dot binding. And the charm is a pearl with some leaves. Got to stick some Christmas in there. So this is the Nordic Noel. It has some flying reindeer and snowflakes and swirls with metallic gold, so it's shiny. Super cute for holding Christmas supplies. And then I think this one is a fun take on some non-traditional Halloween colors. So this is kind of more of a pastel-y Halloween. There's bats with metallic silver moons. And then the purple binding has ghosts and jack-o'-lanterns and witch hats and brooms and stars. And the charm on this one is a jack-o'-lantern. And I just love how that silver bead sparkles and matches the metallic silver on the fabric. So that is what will be in the shop today, September 15th. Hopefully you see it before then. If not, check back. There might still be some in stock. You never know. All right. That's all I have to share with you. We've almost made it to an hour, so by the time I add the other clips, it probably will be an hour. Thank you so much for stopping by and seeing what I have to share with you. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. I'm looking forward to a birthday barbecue with some family and friends and starting my birthday start on Sunday, that beautiful Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. Hopefully next time I have a little more progress to share with you. I seem to have a lot more haul than I do progress on my whips. So yeah, that's all I have. I hope you get some lovely stitching time in and wonderful family time in the next couple weeks. And I'll see you in 2 weeks.